So if I said to you Islam, you'd be like, okay, that's a religion for only who? Arabs, of course, right? But that's because we have only been watching the news. We didn't realize it's much deeper. Aslama, it has 5 meanings in English and more, but the 5 that we use to explain what's Islam. Surrender to God. As soon as you say that, you'll be surprised what happened. One brother with me, travels with me, the other day we were in a truck stop, you know, to make wudu, and this man passed by, both of us, truck driver. He goes by and he looks at my friend Yusuf. He sees him with his kufi, with his long dress, with his foot missing, right? He said, so what are you supposed to be? Is this your religion? He said, yeah. He said, what's the name of your religion? So, uh-oh, here we go. As soon as he says Islam, this guy going to knock him out of this thing. And the big truck driver like, what's the name of your religion, boy? So, very wise. Our brother's very wise. He said, if I tell you the name in the language, you won't understand. But I can translate it for you. So which do you want? The name in the language or the translation? He said, give me the translation. He said, it's to be submissive to God. He said, I'm with that, son. Go ahead. And I did it. Because if you're obeying God, that's another word, submission, obedience, surrender, give your heart to the Lord. All of these things are in Christianity. These are also things you'll find in Judaism. And it goes on to be sincere. Because you cannot be a Muslim if you can't be sincere with your God. And finally, to be in peace with whatever He gives you. You said you're going to give your life to the Lord, right? Okay, you say, here I am, God, take me. But if you said, but I only want good stuff, then it's not going to be His deal. That's your deal. And He'll do that. He said, if that's all you want is good in this life, that's what you'll get and nothing else. But if you want the good in the next life and the good in this life, then you say, رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. You say, our Lord, give us good in this life, but give us good in the next life. And save us from the punishment of the fire. Now, that makes sense, because there's nothing that's any good in this life unless it gives us good in the next life. This is temporary. Doesn't matter what you got here, it's going to go away, right? But in the next life, it doesn't end. There's no death after that. When you die this life, that's finished. You're not ever going to die again. You're resurrected and brought back on the day of judgment to see your deeds. And that's something that we all want to run away from. But, you know, that's got to happen. But the good news is, our Lord has Rahmah, Rahim. He is merciful, especially merciful to the believers. A true believer, he is in good shape, no matter how many mistakes, because he keeps coming back, try again, try again. So alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. Earlier we heard from our brother Harun. Shaykh Harun was reading from Surah Al-Rahman. Here we go again, chapter 55. I love the numbers. That's the speed limit, by the way. You know that. Don't break the speed limit.
Sister, she asked a specific question. She said anybody doesn't accept the Islam, he will be loser. That's her question.
Well, that's the answer, though. The answer was translated, and you see that. If anybody said, look, God, I don't like your religion. I want to make up my own. Okay? I mean, I believe you're there, God. Okay. But I don't like your way. I want my way. Now, ask yourself a question. Is God going to accept that, yes or no?
No.
All right, see, translate it. قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في القرآن الكريم وَمَنْ يَبْتَغِي غَيْرَ الْإِسْلَامِ دِينًا فَلَا يُقْبَلَ مِنْهُ وَهُوَ فِي الْآخِرَةِ مِنَ الْخَاسِرِينَ. And this is, if you said parts of it in Arabic, you lose the benefit of translation. Why translate? You don't translate Islam, they never get it. 2 words we leave in Arabic, Deen and Islam. And if you do that, then the guy doesn't know. Because translation says, if anybody wants a deen other than Islam, it will never be accepted from them. And in the hereafter, they'll be with the losers. Everybody here is Muslim, you understood, you said, that makes sense. But if you're not, you don't know Arabic, it doesn't make sense. Some of our kids Muslim kids, they don't like this. They don't realize what it means. They say, how come only Muslims get to go to paradise? Why only Muslims? Is that true? Only Muslims will go to paradise? Yes. Nobody will go unless they're a Muslim. Never. Nobody. Well, what about all the people before Muhammad came? And that's what I want you to ask me. Because you don't understand what the word Muslim means. You thought that it's like some people, if you didn't know this, Christians were never called Christians by Christians. They were Muslims. And it says in the Bible they were never called Christians until they tried to give Dawah in Antioch. That's when the enemies to them were making fun of them and said, you're Christians, like people call us, you're Mohammedans. Are we Mohammedans? No. Do we worship Muhammad? No. Na'udhu, of course not. And he even told us, don't do to me what the Christians did to my brother Jesus. Don't worship me, worship the God that I worship. And then you go back and you look in the Bible, what does it say? It says exactly what the Quran says. Jesus called the people, worship my God and your God, my Lord and your Lord. Who am I supposed to worship him? Allah. And wallah, you know some people tried to worship Muhammad even in his time, and he told them to stop that. You don't worship me, you worship the God. Did Muhammad pray? Yes. To who? Allah. Did Jesus pray? Yes. To who? Allah. Therefore, Jesus is a one who surrenders and submits their will to the will of God. And if you look in the New Testament, it says it even in the translation twice. The Lord's Prayer is mentioned 2 times, and the key is in the Lord's Prayer. Listen to this. The only word we got a problem with is Father. That's a bad translation, Abba. If you leave that alone, if you said Allah instead of Abba, our Allah, which art in heaven, sacred is your name, hallowed is your name, Al-Qudus. Your kingdom come, listen to this part, your will be done. Allahu ala kulli shay'in qadir. It's there. And then the rest of the Lord's Prayer, you read it, you say, that's what we believe. I know. Because none of the prophets were saying anything except don't have any partners with God. Worship God alone without any partners. So if somebody said, God, I don't like your rule, I got some other gods out here. You know, I got this good, we talked about the rabbit's foot, the good luck charms. Huh? And how the rabbit said it wasn't looking for me, what do you want it for? So think about it. If you told God, you'll make up the religion, what are you saying? But if you said, I want to submit to you, this in Arabic is aslama. God, I want your will to be done. Your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. You agree with that? You guys agree with that? Because it's what it means. Islam means God's will on earth as it is in heaven. And I got to surrender to him, submit to him. And if I don't do that, it's not the word aslama. It's not Islam. If it is Islam, it doesn't matter if you know Arabic or not. You know there's one God? You want to do what he wants you to do? You might be a Muslim already. You didn't know that because Muslim comes from the same root.